coverage, I'm Ken Buffa.
I'm Macy Eglin. Thanks for being with us. The polls have closed. Long Islanders like you have spoken, weighing in on all of those local races tonight.
And throughout the night, we'll have live local coverage looking at the county and town races that matter most to you.
Yeah, the highest profile race this year is for Nassau County Executive. A lot of eyes on that one. Democrat Seth Koslow challenging Republican incumbent Bruce Blakeman. Now, we have a team of Newsday reporters live at the local party headquarters for you across Long Island, focused on all of these local issues. Jill Wagner is at Nassau GOP headquarters. Virginia Huey is in Nassau with the Democrats. Andrew Enger is in Suffolk County at GOP headquarters. And our Doug Geet is with the Suffolk Democrats. We do have some breaking news in the New York City mayoral race. AP News is now calling the race for Democratic Socialist Zohran Mamdani. As you know, the nation really keeping a close eye on this one. As Newsday has reported, Long Islanders were big donors to the mayoral campaign of Democratic Socialist Zohran Mamdani.
Now, the projected winner took on Republican Curtis Sliwa and former Governor Andrew Cuomo, who's running as an independent. Now, NewsdayTV's political analyst Joy Brown is in Newsday Studio 2 here in Melville, looking at the local impact of the races with Larry Levy, Dean of Suburban Studies at Hofstra University.
We'll check back in with you guys, Joy. Also, here's a look at our politics and news teams in our newsroom right now, following all of those key races, the stories that matter to you. You can always get the latest updates live on our website, newsday.com/LIvotes. All right, let's get out to our live reporters in the field right now. Let's begin in Nassau County.
That's right. The headliner there, like you said, is County Executive Bruce Blakeman, who's looking for another term. Newsday TV's Jill Wagner is at Nassau GOP headquarters in Baldwin. Jill, take it away.
Hey, Ken, a lot of excitement here in Baldwin. I think you could probably hear a lot of music. It is very loud. It's really starting to sound like a party, and Republicans have done incredibly well in terms of the county government and the town government in the past few elections, and they're pretty confident that they can keep that going again tonight. And I am with right now Hempstead Town Supervisor John Ferretti. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling confident. I think that the issues are on our side, and I think that the residents came out, and I think we're going to have a good night.
What issues do you think are resonating with voters?
Well, first and foremost is always property taxes. I'm proud of my record of being a tax cutter, and I hope to continue that as a Hempstead Town Supervisor.
Just to that case recently, I know that a judge recently said that it was against the law the way that the previous town supervisor resigned and that you were appointed. For any voters out there who maybe that weighed on them when they went and voted today, do you have any message?
Well, I would disagree with the way you phrased that. That's not exactly correct. But no, look, residents in town of Hempstead, they care about property taxes, they care about safety, they care about keeping socialists like Zohran Mamdani out of their town, and that's what I have delivered and I'll continue to deliver.
You mentioned Zohran Mamdani. The Associated Press has already called that he is the winner and going to be the next mayor of New York City. You have said that this is concerning to you. Why is that?
Well, you look at his policies. I mean, defunding the police, eliminating misdemeanors, closing jails. This is the antithesis of what town of Hempstead and Nassau County residents desire in their community, and we'll make sure here in Nassau County and the town of Hempstead, if the numbers come out good tonight, we will fight that every day.
All right, well, thank you so much. Hempstead Supervisor John Ferretti, watching a bunch of other races here as well. The big one is Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman, who is up for re-election. Also, the legislature as well right now, a 12-7 majority Republicans. But again, a lot of excitement here at the GOP headquarters in Baldwin. Ken?
Jill, it's going to be busy now. Now let's head out to Newsday TV's Virginia Huey. She's at Nassau Democratic headquarters in Garden City.
Ken, Democrats are hoping for an upset at the top of the ticket. Seth Koslow is trying to unseat Republican incumbent Bruce Blakeman for Nassau County Executive. Koslow is currently serving his first term as legislator representing the 5th District. He is running on a platform of accountability in county government, transparency, and affordability. As the father of 3 children, he says that the future of Nassau County is top of mind. We caught up with Koslow after he voted today, and this is what he had to say.
I think people are tired of the fact that we have leadership that doesn't plan for our future. And my whole concern is, what you see behind me, my kids, right? I'm worried about their future and everyone else's future.
Now Now, as you can see behind me, there is like a party atmosphere here. This place is packed with Democratic supporters, and they are hoping to hear several victory speeches at the podium tonight. We'll have to wait and see. For now, that is the latest from Nassau Democratic headquarters. I'm Virginia Huey for Newsday TV. Ken?
Thank you so much, Virginia. Now let's head out to Newsday TV's Andrew Anger. He's at Suffolk GOP headquarters in Patchogue.
Ken, well, the party is definitely going on here in Patchogue at the Stereo Garden. A lot of Republicans actually are behind us here. You can't see them. Eventually, they will make it up to the stage here where we're expecting to hear from District Attorney Ray Tierney, who's actually with me here right now. You ran unopposed this year. You're going to declare victory here momentarily. Do you feel you were able to reach out to the voters this year and explain to them why you needed to have a second term?
Oh, absolutely. I started my initial campaign in about February of 2021. I worked all the way through. When I took office in January 2022, I incorporated those responsibilities, continue to do the exact same thing up until today. And then tomorrow, I'm going to do the exact same thing. The key to campaigning is you never stop doing it because you're just making your case to the public.
Now, just a moments ago, we heard that Zohran Mamdani was declared the winner in New York City. Your office does work with the NYPD. Do you expect to still have a good relationship with the NYPD going forward?
Yeah, the NYPD is an absolute top-notch law enforcement agency, and we're hopeful that we'll be able to continue that great relationship that we have with NYPD and all our other partners as well.
Okay, all right. So right now, so far, feeling pretty good here in Suffolk County for Republicans?
Absolutely, I think so.
Okay, Ray Tierney, Suffolk County District Attorney, you heard it here, right here at the Stereo Garden in Patchogue, and we're going to throw it back to Ken in the studio.
Thank you so much, Andrew. Yeah, Ray Tierney had a tough race racing against uncontested. All right, so let's look at the scene at Suffolk Democratic headquarters. Newsday TV's Doug Geed is in Holtzville. Doug.
All right, thank you, Ken. It is very loud here. You may not see a lot of people over here, but there's a ton of people over by the bar making it very loud. I just want to say that. All right, for Suffolk Democrats, a big part of tonight, besides town supervisor races, are the county legislature. Republicans with a 12-6 majority. Jason Richburg, Democrat legislator from Wyandanch. Things look good for you.
Yeah, things look good. We're cautiously optimistic, and we still have a lot of races out there. We're waiting to see how the legislature will turn out, but I'm optimistic. But the best part about this is that the people of Suffolk County have come out and they're voting and they're engaging in the process. And that's part of our democracy, and that's what I love to see.
You've been through a number of these campaigns. What's different about this year? Every year has a certain feel to it, every election year. So much going on nationally versus locally. What are people saying to you? A lot of voter fatigue is what I hear.
Yeah, I'm hearing voter fatigue. A lot of folks are focusing on finances. The government shutdown. There's a lot of uncertainty out there as well. People want consistency, but people also want to know that they have a voice in government, whether it's on the county level or the state or the federal government. And so, in elections like this, it's important to see what the engagement is like. So, one, we can gauge for the future, especially next year. But more importantly, make sure that we have the pulse of what the people actually want.
Democrats were dominating county government, in recent years. It's totally turned around. What does your party have to do locally to kind of get back to where you were?
Well, I think we're doing that now, right? We're getting back to having conversations with people, small conversations, and figuring out what are the major issues that are important to them. But also, we have to get out and start talking. I think a lot of things have happened where people are focused on social media and not really getting into the crux of what the real issues are. And I think once we get back into people's faces, having those conversations, I think it'll be better. And also, door knock is a little different now than it was 10, 15 years ago. So, we have to all adapt.
We have a potential big upset in Huntington. I know you were saying the numbers are kind of skewed here or not quite sure where they're from, but that would be a big upset in Huntington if your party takes
I think any of those victories would be big. I think I'm cautiously optimistic. I want to see when all the numbers come out from Board of Elections. I know we had a lot of the early voting numbers out, but, let's wait and see. But, it would be a big upset in Huntington.
Jason, appreciate your timing and celebrate your victory. Yes, it's important to know that when they say a certain percentage of votes are in, where they're coming from, it could be pockets favoring one party or the other. So still relatively early yet before we can definitely kind of wrap things up here. All right, back to you, Ken.
Thank you so much, Doug. That's right, relatively early. Some numbers coming in, but they're not finalized just yet.
Yeah, let's get back over to Joy Brown right now. She's in Newsday Studio 2 with Larry Levy, Dean of Suburban Studies at Hofstra University. Joy, we are seeing some interesting results in the Suffolk legislature. Looks like the Democrats are picking up a couple of seats at least.
Well, Larry, let's talk about that a little bit. Again, the numbers are coming in.
Right.
I just want to emphasize again, these are all unofficial.
Right.
Even if we get them all tonight, we
Right.
still have absentee ballots.
Right.
We've got a lot of stuff to take, things to count.
Right.
But if we looked at some of those earlier unofficial numbers, and they're not all counted, it would appear that the Suffolk legislature, one of the big seats that the Republicans were hoping to get, that's the Suffolk 16, Rebecca Sannon versus a former Huntington Town supervisor, Chad Lupinacci. It looks like Rebecca Sannon is ahead. So they keep that one.
Yeah, and she's a one-term incumbent, so it was her first chance to come before voters and ask to be reassigned. And apparently she's managed to reach enough voters and display enough skill and talent and sensitivity to their needs that she's likely to be returned. But Doug Gee made a good point. We not only can't be sure if this is the official total, but we don't even know necessarily in the places where we don't have 100% where those votes are coming from.
Right, right. So the other thing is we're taking a look at the 18th. And I'm just going to say the 18th because I can't read my own handwriting. And it would appear there that in the votes that we've seen thus far, and again, not the end, totally unofficial, that the Democrat seems to be in the lead there.
Right.
If that's true, that's significant.
Right, and the same can be said of the Huntington.
Well, we're not there yet.
Well, but I'm going to make a bigger point,
Okay.
which is that when you take the two that you mentioned and then you add in a couple of supervisor races, I think the bigger picture is, regardless of who necessarily wins and loses, the Democrats appear to be doing better than expected, better than they have been doing, and that links up to what we were talking about earlier in Virginia, in New Jersey. This is shaping up in the bigger picture of a good night for Democrats, a lesser good night for Republicans, and a particularly bad night potentially for President Trump.
Well, again, for Suffolk, right?
Let's
All
get
right.
back home.
Let's go back home for just a second. If the Democrat prevails in the 18th, and I'm sorry I don't know your name right now, but they lose their supermajority.
That's right.
That's a big, big deal.
That's right.
Which means that they'll have to talk to each other to figure out what legislation is going to go forward.
When one party, it tends to be that when one party has a supermajority in a legislature, they almost don't have to talk with the other party. In Nassau County, for example, where the Republicans are trying to get a supermajority, Democrats can stop capital spending. They can enforce,
and they
have, and it can be a very effective tool to get some sort of concessions. The question is, will what we're seeing in Suffolk also be seen in Nassau? But we have no numbers, and that's something that's bugged us for 1,000 years.
So Nassau,
nothing out of Nassau County.
Okay, so
it's
they're
an
gonna
hour and a
change
half
Where are we
since
here?
the election, and nothing. Go to the website of Board of Elections for Nassau, and it says results will be posted on election night.
All right, we're waiting in Nassau, so we don't know if the trend's going to hold yet. But what we do know is, let's go to the towns for a second.
Right.
Okay. Huntington, Ed Smith, popular Republican, came in, very popular Republican.
Yeah.
It looks like somebody running for office for the first time, Cooper Mako, is in the lead there.
Right.
Again, not final.
For now, we don't know, right?
Not final.
But I don't think anybody expected it to be a close race. And right now, just the fact that we're talking about it as competitive and let's wait till all the votes are counted tells you that there's something in the air and water. Whether it's, I would argue it's probably outside influences, the party brand nationally and statewide versus any particular local issue or the personality of a particular candidate.
Oh, or maybe it's that building downtown that people didn't like.
It could be. You never know. In a low turnout, you're absolutely right, Troy. In a low turnout election, you never know what's going to make a difference. And you get a catalyst of 300 or 400 people in a neighborhood come out and gangbusters and turns an election. But I don't know if this is going to be, well, this one could very well be a 300 or 400 vote race.
And we shall have to see.
I know.
But let's head out east for a second.
Yep.
Let's go to Riverhead. There again, the Democrat appears to be in the lead.
Right.
And that is, if I read my handwriting, Jerome Halpin
Right.
appears to be in the lead out
Like
there.
Jerome who? He's not somebody who's a household name in Suffolk County, much less Riverhead. And the supervisor had a pretty good reputation as being able to work across party lines. That would, to me, if the Democrats win that district, that to me would be proof positive that it really didn't have a lot to do with what's going on locally, because there were no tremendously controversial issues that at least I was, of course I live about 80 miles away, but that I'm aware of in what I read and what I talk to political leaders. That would be an example of enough people in a town deciding to send a message to a party at large.
All right, let's go back to you, Ken and Macy. Thank you, Larry.
All right, thank you so much, Joy and Larry. We still have a lot of show, a lot of night left. So, of course, stay with Newsday TV all night for our live election coverage.
Yeah, we are still waiting to hear where we're going next. We were going to hear from Suffolk District Attorney Ray Tierney. We're still waiting on that. We're also waiting on Nassau County results, as Joy and Larry mentioned. So stay with us. We'll be back. You can see all those results, hear about the local impact, streaming here on Newsday TV. Also go to our website, newsday.com/LI votes for more of our in-depth coverage in the meantime. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Newsday TV's special live LI Votes 2025 election coverage. I'm Ken Buffa.
I'm Macy Eglin. The polls have been closed for a while now. You as Long Islanders have spoken, weighing in on all of those local races.
And throughout the night, we'll have live local coverage looking at the county and town races that matter most to you.
We've had a close eye on one of the highest profile races this year, Nassau County Executive, Democrat Seth Koslow challenging Republican incumbent Bruce Blakeman. Now, we have a team of Newsday reporters live at all the local party headquarters across Long Island for you, focused on the local issues. Our Jill Wagner is at Nassau GOP headquarters. Virginia Huey is in Nassau with the Democrats. Andrew Enger is in Suffolk County at GOP headquarters, and Doug Geet is with the Suffolk Democrats for us tonight. Now, we do have some breaking news for you. The New York City mayoral race has been called. AP calling this race for Democratic Socialist Zohran Mamdani. As you know, the nation really keeping a close eye on this one for New York City mayor. As Newsday has reported, Long Islanders were big donors for the mayoral campaign of Democratic Socialist Zohran Mamdani. Again, he is the projected winner against Republican Curtis Sliwa and former Governor Andrew Cuomo.
Now, Newsday's political analyst Joy Brown is in Newsday's Studio 2 here in Melville, looking at the local impact of these races with Larry Levy, Dean of Suburban Studies at Hofstra University.
We'll check in with them soon. And here's a look at our politics and news teams in action in our newsroom, following all the key races and the stories that matter to you. There's our Bob Shields, working hard out there. You can get the latest updates live on newsday.com/LIVotes. Okay, so we've seen some results with Suffolk County. We know New York City's new mayor, projected winner of that race. But we want to get out to our reporters live right now covering our local Long Island elections. We begin in Nassau County.
That's right. And the headliner there, of course, is County Executive Bruce Blakeman, who is looking for another term. Newsday TV's Joe Wagner is at Nassau GOP headquarters in Baldwin. Joe, what do you got?
Ken, it is loud. There is a lot of excitement. I am sure you could see behind me tons of people here, a lot of music. So it already feels like a party atmosphere. And we're also seeing a lot of the candidates themselves walking around, which shows that Republicans are feeling pretty confident about these results. Normally, if they feel like they're going to be in tight races, you would see some of the candidates behind closed doors really poring over all of the results. Now, I did have a chance to speak to County Executive Bruce Blakeman a short while ago, and he's feeling very confident. He says this election really comes down to two issues: taxes and safety. How are you feeling?
I feel pretty good. I think the early numbers are looking pretty good, and I'm optimistic, but you never know. You got to count every vote. So hopefully we'll get a little more clarity, but I'm feeling good right now.
What do you think the issues that Long Islanders, that Nassau residents really care about?
Well, you know, we're the safest county in all of America. We haven't raised taxes in 4 years a penny. I canceled a $150 million tax increase on my predecessor. People like the fact that we're cooperating with ICE. So I think basically they like what we're doing. So I think that I'm running on my record. I think my record's strong. So I think we'll be okay tonight.
This is the first, if this is considered an off-year election, it's the first one since President Trump was reelected. We also had the New York City mayor race. The AP just called it for Zohran Mamdani. I know that those races, how do you think that the national climate and the state climate impacted today's result?
Well, there's always drop-off from the party that's in power. So the numbers in New Jersey, the numbers in Virginia, they pretty much reflect what happens in midterm elections, and I'm very disappointed what happened in New York City. I can't believe this guy got as many votes as he got, so I just feel we're going to have to deal with it.
What do you mean by that?
Well, we'll do what we have to do in Nassau County.
So that was County Executive Bruce Blakeman. He is up for re-election. Again, you heard him there feeling pretty confident. We're watching a bunch of other races as well, including the Hempstead Town Supervisor, John Ferretti. We spoke to him earlier in the evening. He said that he's also feeling confident and think that his issues are also resonating with voters. He has promised to lower taxes. in the town budget. That is what is happening here in Baldwin. It is loud and a lot of excitement as we wait for the results. Back to you guys, Ken.
Thank you so much, Joe. Great reporting there. Now let's head out to Newsday TV's Virginia Huey. She's at Nassau Democratic headquarters in Garden City, Virginia.
Ken, Newsday has reporters throughout Long Island covering the races that matter to you. And joining me now is Newsday reporter Sam Kamak, who has visited several polling places in Nassau. Talk to us about where you went and what the voters are saying.
So I went to Roosevelt in Elmont. By the time I got there around 5, 6, it was mostly cleared out, or at least there was a little bit of a lull. But there were still voters coming in and out. The ones who I spoke with, the trend was largely that they weren't super engaged with the items that were on their ballot, but they still wanted to show up because they felt it was a civil responsibility. And they largely voted along their party lines. Even I spoke with one two-time Trump voter who just voted Republican up and down the ticket, and I spoke with multiple lifelong Democratic voters who did the same on the Democratic side.
You spoke to Seth Kozlow a few minutes ago. What did he have to say?
So he told me that it was a hard race, and I believe the quote was that his team left it all on the field, just talked about how hard fought it was. He did say that he's feeling optimistic, despite how hard that fight has been.
Thanks so much, Sam, for joining us. And as you can hear behind me, the crowd is getting bigger and bigger and louder every few minutes. There's enthusiasm that you can hear erupting behind me here. Obviously, some of the races are going their way, and they're hoping for a big celebration tonight, and we'll just have to wait and see. For now, that is the latest from Nassau Democratic headquarters in Garden City. I'm Virginia Huey for Newsday TV.
Thank you so much, Virginia. We appreciate that, and we understand that Governor Cuomo, former Governor Cuomo rather, is having his concession speech. Again, running as an independent, losing, though, to Democratic Socialist Zoran Mamdani. Let's head out there now.
A great campaign manager, Greg Gore. I want to thank Mayor Adams, who stepped out of the race to make us more competitive, and that was a very gracious thing to do. I want to thank Mayor Bloomberg, who gave us his support, Governor David Patterson, all the unions, and I am blessed. I am blessed to have the people in this room. You have been a phenomenal team. Great. You are superstars. Even more, you are New York patriots. And I am proud of you. This campaign was the right fight to wage. And I am proud of what we did and what we did together. This campaign was to contest the philosophies that are shaping the Democratic Party, the future of this city, and the future of this country. And this coalition transcended normal partisan politics. It brought together Democrats and Republicans and independents, joined by the simple fact that their first allegiance is as citizens of New York City. Two million voters, the largest number in modern political history, cared enough to show up in a municipal election. And 42% voted for us on an independent line. That is the highest percentage in modern history. Ironically, it is just higher than when Mario Cuomo got 40% on an independent line against Ed Koch in 1977. It's also important to note that almost half of New Yorkers did not vote to support a government agenda that makes promises that we know cannot be met. We support an economy of jobs, opportunity, of entrepreneurship. That's what New York is, and that's what New York must remain. We are a nation of laws, and we believe in law and order, and we need the police to keep society safe. We will not make the NYPD the enemy. We cherish diversity, and we have no tolerance for discrimination of any kind by race, religion, sexual orientation, or creed. And we will not tolerate any behavior that fans the flames of anti-Semitism or diverse attacks.
Incessant speech saying that his supporters were New York patriots, calling this campaign was the right fight to wage. We also have more speeches happening now. Let's head over to Suffolk Democratic headquarters right now in Holtsville.
Come on up, everyone, come on. Since when are politicians shy, right? So I want to kick you off by introducing someone who needs no introduction. This man came to us to run for the county legislature. He was not successful. And then he stepped in and had 53 days to get elected as our sheriff. And he did that by about 2,500 votes on his first run. And now he is overwhelmingly re-elected, our great Sheriff Harold Toulon.
Hello, Democrats. We are on fire. I cannot thank all of you enough for your support, your friendship, your guidance, your phone calls, your text messages, throughout this journey. It's been a whirlwind, and I'm going to continue making sure that Suffolk County is safe. Suffolk County will work with the individuals that are incarcerated so that they have better lives when they leave my two facilities. And we are going to continue to be fiduciary responsible in what we do in the Sheriff's Office. God bless all of you, and thank you very much.
Harold Toulon, our Sheriff. Where's Jason Richburg? Jason Richburg, overwhelmingly re-elected in his own district, and I think we're going to get you one, maybe two county legislators. That much closer to making him the presiding officer. How about our newly re-elected legislator from the South Fork, Ann Welker? Newly re-elected legislator from the town of Islip, Sammy Gonzalez. And not ready to call it yet, but he is within inches of being legislator-elect, Craig Hershkowitz from the town of Huntington. And by the way, there are several districts still out in his legislative district. He's down by about 150, and we're still waiting in terms of that. This comes down, as everyone says, every vote counts. Craig, you did a great job. And we're hoping for the best over the next couple of hours. They threw everything but the kitchen sink against our war horse here, but Steve Engelbright, re-elected by over 60% of the vote. One of his best races yet. Congratulations. So, fresh off her Donuts for Democracy tour, I was actually following her in the car to try and get a donut, but she did terrific, not just on election day leading up to it, but she's been a terrific county legislator, and I think she's ending up with about 58 or 59% of the vote. Newly re-elected legislator Rebecca Sanin.
All right, let's head over to our Andrew Anger now. He is with Congressman Nick LaLota. Let's hear from them. Andrew, what's going on over there?
Yeah, Suffolk County Republicans are trying to remain positive here and looking at taking away some big victories here, but of course the night is not over yet. We're with Congressman Nick LaLota. Now, Nick, you weren't running this year, but you were definitely keeping an eye on the races. How did it look for you out there with Suffolk County Republicans?
Yeah, a lot of energy in this room tonight and on the ballot this November. I'm not on the ballot, but a lot of my friends were. Republicans won a lot here in Suffolk County over the last 4 years. We built a supermajority in the county legislature, won a county executive in DEA. A lot of that stuff was on the ballot tonight, and Republicans were defending those wins that we had over the last 4 years.
Suffolk County has been kind of a red county for New York State here, but we just had some big news out of New York City. The mayoral candidate, Zohran Mamdani, taking over the mayor's office there in New York. What does that mean for Suffolk County, and how will the federal government be able to work with him going forward?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. There's a big contrast between local endorsed socialists, his words, not mine, Democrat socialist Zohran Mamdani, and how folks here in Suffolk County would want to be governed. Here in Suffolk County, we're pro-law enforcement, we're pro-freedom, we want lower taxes. Zohran Mamdani campaigned on raising taxes by $9 billion. He's called the NYPD a racist organization. He said plenty of anti-Semitic things. A lot of my constituents are nervous about what a Zohran Mamdani mayoralty will look like, and we have to build that firewall of freedom here on Long Island to make sure those infectious policies don't contaminate us here.
All right, we're going to keep a close eye on it. Of course, thank you very much, Nick. I appreciate it. And that's it from Stereo Garden here, which is the big party for Suffolk County Republicans. Ken?
Of energy still, and still quite a bit of night left.
Yeah, that's true. So Andrew was with the Suffolk GOP. We just heard from the Suffolk Dems as well. A lot of celebrations going on there. We do have some results from Suffolk County. Let's take a look at that, beginning with the Suffolk County Legislature in District 1. This is the North Fork, Riverhead, Southold area. Republican Catherine Stark was your incumbent in this race. Looks to be beaten by Democrat Gregory Dorosky. So at least one seat in the Suffolk County Legislature that looks to have flipped again. We're still waiting for these races to be called, but right now, pretty significant gap between the two. District 2, this is the South Fork, Southampton, East Hampton, Republican Raheem Soto running against Democrat Ann Welker, looking like she will secure her second term. District 3, South Shore, Mastic Beach, Center Moriches area, Republican James Mazzarella running against Democrat Beverly Theodore. 61% of the vote for incumbent Mazzarella. District 4, Central Suffolk County, Farmingville, Medford region, Nicholas Caracappa, the Republican hoping to secure his third term with 55% of the vote right now. District 5, North Shore of Suffolk County, Stony Brook, Port Jeff, Setauket region, Stephen Engelbright, the Democrat, seeking his second term tonight against Republican Laura Endress. He's got a commanding lead there. District 6, North Shore and Central Suffolk region, Miller Place, Yaphank, Shoreham. This would be your representative, Republican Chad Lennon, hoping to secure a second term against Democrat Kevin O'Shaughnessy. District 7 now, South Shore, Patchogue, Bell